Hey guys, alright, so I'm homesick, and I'm going to try and make this video to help you through this next lesson. So what you're looking at on the screen is the same exact worksheet that you have in your packet. If you read up at the top, it says Battle Creek Cereal is trying a variety of packaging sizes for their Crispy Puff cereal. There's a table, you can see that right here, and then there's a scatter plot down here that they've already drawn for you. Okay? It says draw a line of best fit through the data points. Okay, now because every one of us could draw a different scatter plot, and that would be really, really difficult, I'm going to have you draw a very specific line. Okay, I'm going to have you go through this point right here. Hopefully you can see that. I'm writing it in. It's 30, 0. All right, and the other one is going to be up here. It's going to be at 480, 900. Okay, and it'll end up looking like this. Okay, so if you need to pause your video to draw that in, and I apologize, I couldn't get, that's as close as I could get it. Okay, it's a pretty decent line. Okay, so now when it says here to describe the association, this is the lesson you learned yesterday. Okay, so there's 3 different things that I want you to be able to describe here. Is this positive or negative? And this one's positive. Is it strong or is it weak? And I would call this one strong. And is it linear or is it not? And this one is definitely linear. Okay? So then when it says write the equation of your line of best fit, since we all have the exact same line, because I told you exactly where to draw it, we're all going to have the same equation. Okay? This is going to make things a whole lot easier. Okay, so for an equation, you need 2 things. You need a slope, which is the change of y over the change of x. Okay, so the change of y, and again, I have my 2 ordered pairs that I'm going to be using. So the y's are this 900 and that 0. 900 minus 0. And the x's that I'm going to use are this 480 and this 30. Okay, so when you actually do that math, 900 minus 0 on the top is 900. 480 minus 30 on the bottom is 450. That's a 5. That looks awful. 450. There we go. And 900 divided by 450 is 2. Okay, so we have a really, really, really nice slope of 2. Okay, now a slope is not the whole equation, right? To write the equation, I'm going to use this formula. This is point slope form. You've seen this many, many times. All right, I've got my m right here, and I'm going to actually use this ordered pair down here. It's just a little easier to plug in. Okay, so here we go. Y equals, the y value I have is 0. The m we just computed is 2. X minus, and the x value that we're going to use is 30. Now when I distribute, I end up with 0 plus 2x minus 60. And if I clean that up, I just have 2x minus 60. Okay, again, a really nice line of best fit. Okay, so I'm going to scoot this up. You guys are going to turn your page. And I'm going to rewrite that equation at the top. Actually, I don't need to rewrite it, but you might need to on your next page. But you can see I'll highlight it. Okay, this is the equation we're going to keep using over and over and over again. Okay, so it says, using the equation from part C, that's what I just highlighted, estimate how much cereal is in a package using 260 inches of cardboard. Okay, now you might have to go back to that graph really quick to realize that X is talking about packaging. In other words, that's in inches squared, and Y is talking about weight in grams. Okay, so this, when it says inches squared, that's my X value. So I'm going to have Y is equal to 2 times 260 minus 60. Okay, and that becomes, if I do just a little bit of math, and you can use a calculator, it becomes 520 minus 60, which equals 480 grams. Okay, now the question says, does your answer seem reasonable based on the line you drew? So let's go back and look at the line. Okay, so it's asking us here at 260, does our answer look like it could potentially be 480? And that does look like it to me, so I'm just going to move this back up and say yes, it does. Okay, so the next question says, interpret the meaning of the slope and y-intercept. Okay, so I'm going to write those in. Give me just a second, and I'll come back. All right, so the slope means every inch squared change in packaging means 2 grams of weight change. All right, and the y-intercept is negative, so it doesn't make sense. You can't have a negative weight. And I can explain both of those further when I get back. Okay, so now this is really important, and I'm going to highlight it for you. Over here, there's kind of like this little cloud-looking thing. This is a little calculation on how to find something called a residual. And all a residual is, it's a measurement of how far away your prediction is from the actual number. Okay, so take a look at this next problem. It says, using your line on your scatter plot, estimate the weight of the cereal that a 260-inch squared box holds. Now, we've done this before. In fact, we just did it right here. Okay, so we already know that our prediction is 480 grams. This is, again, I'm going to label this prediction. Okay, now down here, it's letting us know that this box actually holds 355. So if we're trying to calculate the residual, I'm going to use this formula. Okay, so the residual is equal to the actual amount, that's 355, minus our prediction, which is 480. Okay, and if you do that math, again, you can use the calculator, you get negative 125. Okay, now the difference between a positive and a negative residual, let me move this up, is that one's an overestimation and one's an underestimation. So over versus under estimate. Okay, so table number 1 shows the actual weight of cereal with 471 inches of packaging. Let's go find that. So I'm looking right here. 471 inches squared of packaging equals 1020. Let me just remember that, 1020. Okay, so the actual weight is 1020. Now it says use your equation, right? That equation that we've been using, 2x minus 60, to find the predicted weight. Okay, so let me put 471 into our equation. 2 times 471 minus 60, and you might have to use a calculator. This is 942 minus 60, which then equals 882. Okay, so the residual, all right, again, I'm going back to this formula up here, okay? Again, you're going to use this a lot. The residual is the actual number, that's 1020, minus our prediction of 882 equaling 138. And it says include the units, these are grams, okay, because we're talking about the weight. Okay, so the last problem here says that there's going to be this brand new supersized box of 600, and they tell us what the residual is. Okay, so we want to know, we're trying to figure out what the actual weight is. Now notice there's a big old hint right here. It says use the equation from 1C to find prediction first. Okay, so here's our equation. Oh, wrong pen. Here's our equation, and I'm going to plug in 600. 2 times 600 minus 60. That's 1200 minus 60. That's 1140. Again, this is our prediction. Okay, and notice they told us the residual, so we have R. So we have R is 1005, and we have P is equal to 1140. We're trying to find A. Okay, so let me scoot this over just a little. residual is equal to actual minus prediction. Let's put our numbers in. 1005 is equal to the actual minus 1140. You can solve this equation, right? You've done this many, many times. We're going to add 1140 to both sides. So our actual is 2145. All right, I hope that helps. Again, you can watch this video as many times as is needed, and I'll answer your questions when I get back.